Hi, David. Thank you for joining me. How are you today?
I'm doing better. Yeah. So what had happened was for the last 2 weeks, I've been kind of out of it. Last week I got food poisoning, which, that happens. Nothing
Yeah.
worried about that. But then I was talking to some other people, and apparently there are also psychics who were down and w weird things. And over the time, like over a week, I couldn't, my attention span just wasn't there. My powers were going up and off, or like it was literally like something was going on. And I didn't think much of it. I just thought it was from the food poisoning because you physical health you requires stamina and everything like that to use your ability. If you're low energy, you're not going to be able to accessibly do that. I get that.
Yeah.
So and then but during the last 2 weeks, I kept getting the brief like descriptions of pay attention to the moon. And I'm like, okay, so I go outside and look outside and go, yeah, it's still there. And they go, no, that's not what we meant. And I was like, just making sure because you never know anymore. So the message I kept getting was China took something from the moon that's not supposed to be on Earth.
Right.
And they're telling the message I got was they showed me Donald Trump as a happy dog thinking he did really good with Iran. They showed him wagging his tail,
Mm.
but they also call then they turned into a those old cartoon donkeys where they call you a jack. Yeah, that's that they turned him from a dog to a jackass, and they said you need to watch China. And in the last 3 days, I got really, really sick. I mean, like I could not even hold a thought. And then I realized after talking to you, because I was going to cancel because I was like,
Mm.
nothing's going on. I don't want to waste your time with just ramblings. And then you had mentioned that you felt like somebody was trying to keep us quiet or separated.
Yeah.
And then that got me thinking, like, oh shit, I think you're right. And so I sat down and did a couple little things, and I got some things that were like squeezed through, but I felt this weird presence on Earth. I felt like a psychic shield had been placed on Earth, like a dampening field, like.
Yeah.
And I talked to some people, and they said, yeah, they felt the same exact thing. What had happened apparently, also this week, I'm pretty sure it was the Bilderberg meeting or their big secret one. So probably they had all their psychics going up as well. So
Right.
from what I happened was when I realized that this was a shield and was being placed upon us and it was a dampening field, I started looking more and more. And it was really hard for me to focus. But eventually I saw some people. I saw a bunch of ETs on that were in big red robes. They were emissaries. I believe they were of the Anunnaki. The Anunnaki are not supposed to be on this planet. They are not supposed to be here because their presence will literally disturb the entire world. And they were very surprised that I could still sense them. They came to me yesterday and they were like, interesting. We didn't know that there were people like you on this planet. And I said to him, this planet is full of people like me. There's no shortage of those. And he goes, very interesting. We'll have to test that and put that to good uses. And I says, no, you need to leave right now. You're off. And he goes, you can't do anything. So what I did was I just put the mirrors around him and some light, and he started screaming, and he was pissed. And I says, you need to leave now. You are not welcome here. I will not be violated. Now get out. And he was screaming, and I sent him away. Then, unfortunately, after that, I got attacked pretty hard. Apparently, the some of the groups of ETs that they were working with didn't like the fact that I did that, so they caused some major problems for me yesterday. One of the things they'll able to do is influence moods and stuff like that because I was already in just battle mode anyway, so they kind of amped it up more and more. So they had created a big old pride fight with me and my family and stuff like that, for things. Then once I realized it was them, what they were doing, I literally grabbed them and had them lined up and told them what you did was wrong and you need to be paid. You need to pay for what you did. It turns out it was a bunch of black mantises that are working. By the way, I
Okay.
want to thank you for the introduction to the black mantises. I've only had to deal with one beforehand. Now I have to deal
Oh,
with a lot.
oh, okay. Well, I've so after we had our meeting, I had about 4 days of targeting, and it was like started at the back, attached to the light grid, and worked its way forward into the eye.
Yep.
And I had a healing with Phil Barrow, which is on my channel. And so he did quite a bit of work there, tearing contracts and things like that. But he also battled the mantis. But I think he got the Black Mantis to actually tear up the contract rather than fight. So
Okay.
yeah, so that's detached now. But
Yeah, and I also had to meet the queen at the facility that your soul was being held at.
oh wow.
I didn't tell you about this?
No, you kind of said you went, but you didn't say what you did. And I just thought this
Okay,
guy is
so
an absolute
right. So
badass.
after we had our little discussion 2 weeks ago,
Yeah.
I realized that you had your soul taken. So I asked to travel to the facility where it was. And I get there and I see your soul and some other stuff, and there's a bunch of black mantises. And now again, I've usually dealt with the green ones, which are much higher vibration. They are generally spiritual, peaceful. Everything. These are military. They have their own way of doing things. It's like a different. For me, it's hard for them. It's hard for me to see the mantises as this in this lower state because I always knew them as these, truly blessed beings of light and
Yeah.
everything like that. But seeing them actually almost be like humans, just a little worse and that kind of thing.
Okay.
It's a lot for me to do. So I tell him, I says, listen, give her everything back, and I want everything purified. No, don't put no traces in there, no nothing, nothing like that. Everything that you took of hers, you return it to her immediately. And she goes, we have orders not to. I go, I'm telling you right now, you do it. And he got a little annoyed with me, and I put a little fire on him, and he kind of decided, okay, we'll let it go.
Yeah.
And as I'm being there more, activating the fire, I realize, oh crap, I'm in a facility. This is a base. And I start looking over and I see literally beds of people being hooked up and experimented on. And I said, what are those? And he goes, what are what? I go, don't what me. What are those humans doing here? And he goes, we're doing what we're supposed to. We were told to do that. I go, I want them all back to where they're supposed to be, and everything you took from them gone and returned to them immediately, and everything like that. So we went after that, and I think we got a lot of them back. And after that, I met the Queen, which was a very, very scary, very, very scary being. She was probably one of the largest ETs I've ever encountered. I mean, she was almost kaiju size. She was
Wow.
heavily modified. She also had like mixing of AI and her and some biologicals to get that big. When I mean big, I'm talking 20, 30 feet.
Oh, I just got a visual on that. Yeah.
Yeah,
Um,
she is terrifying.
yeah.
So we ended up, she comes at me and she is terrifying. Like I said, it's one of the few times I've actually been scared.
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh crap, what did I
You
do?
seem really small in my
Huh?
mind compared to that towering, yeah, like mantis bull queen.
Yeah, she was yeah, very
Yeah.
thing. So we ended up fighting again, and as she's literally, we're fighting, just trying to get everything done. I managed to start talking to her, and she turns her off guard, and I put the mirrors around her, and I get the light, and I start having a conversation with her, and I say, "Listen, would you like to meet other beings like yourself who are quite powerful,
Mm.
but are on different parts of the different parts of the healing journey?" And she's like, "Are they very strong?" I go, "They're true monsters."
Wow.
And she said yes. So I then introduced them to some of the other beings that have been rehabilitating themselves or evolving themselves to a higher state. And afterwards, she came back to me like a week later, and she was much smaller, like much smaller. She had to let go of a lot of it, but she's now trying to grow as a being and be more spiritual and empathetic. And it's funny because like I'm almost telepathically linked with her at times. So the stuff she experiences or I experience, it'll like amplify to each other. Like the other day, I was just for some reason I just was like working out and I was just building up strength, getting angry,
Mm.
getting that pump on, and all of a sudden I see her and she goes into this full tirade of like Saturday morning cartoon. We shall conquer the universe, my people. We will go. I will lead you to victory. And I'm sitting there like, what? No,
No.
no, no, no. What? Then she just literally stops and goes, no, no, we're
Yeah.
better than that. We're not going to do that. We're going to try something different. We're going to operate in the heart space. And I
Yeah.
see all her like minions of black mantises being like, ooh, huh? What are we doing?
Yeah. Do you think I've got a connection there? Because it was very easy for me to get that visual. So I think there's definitely still a connection to that.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
They wanted you. I told you you were a records keeper.
Yeah.
They wanted that knowledge and they've been doing stuff to you, but I think most of you got back. I think there's a
Yeah.
few of you left but nothing in that facility.
Mm.
I want to be clear on
I
that.
did feel an integration within 24 hours of us being together. I felt things starting to come back, but then
Yeah,
I started to feel like this clamp. So I was still trying to like implant me with something in the eye,
yeah.
which is not good. So that's been removed now, I think.
Yeah, but I'm glad because I told her I said not the queen. I said one of the other one. I said, listen, I want also confirmation that you gave back everything.
Mm.
And I think that Saturday after I talked to you, that she came to me and said, we have returned everything. Can you please let me go now? And I said yes.
You're like something else. You're next level. You just blow me away. You look
Well,
like a regular guy, but you're not.
thank you.
Amazing.
Yeah, so we
Yeah.
got that done. I've been trying to just like rebuild myself and get everything going. I'm actually
Yeah.
getting. I had a lot of ETs that are coming to me now, and I asked them because I asked them. I said, "How come you guys don't tell me about future events like you used to? Like
Mm.
you would tell me like stuff would coming down the pipeline. Please get this message out." And they said to me, "Well, you get very angry and you're very difficult to work with when you're angry, and I don't want to die."
Oh
And I
wow,
go,
they're
that's,
scared of you. Okay.
I said, that's fair. I understand that. Because like I
Yeah.
said, most of the time I have been under attack and I just started, I stopped. They wanted me to use what do they call the appropriate amount of restraint.
Yeah.
And I'm like,
There needs to be some kind of protocol put in place, which just popped into my mind for them to share this information with you. You need to set a protocol.
yeah, I have to do that. And
Yeah.
it's just like, I've been trying to get myself back into a place where I'm not ready just to attack anything.
Yeah.
Because a lot of what
Ooh.
happens is you'll have these positive encounters with the ETs and you'll get used to it and you'll lower your guard. And then the second like they go away, some negative ETs will come in and they'll just mess everything up. And when the other positive ETs come back, they're like, what happened? We were gone for like 5 minutes.
Yeah. So Audrey said that because I asked her if I got a ship over the house, and she said, yeah, it's a grey ship over the house. I can't tell that it's there. I did go out to try and talk to it yesterday. There's no clouds over my house or anything.
Mm.
Probably because there's a ship there.
Uh,
And it's not hiding in the clouds. It's just cloaked. So yeah.
oh, like I said, I know Audrey said that they were positive grays.
Mm.
I'm very cautious about any grays.
Yeah, me too. Me
There's
too.
just something not right about them. I
Yeah.
understand they're workers or they have their thing, but as far as all the ETs and different beings that I've met in my entire so far, I would consider the Greys the most alien. I
Right.
consider them spiritually sterile and physically sterile. I understand that there's a wide variety of different types of Greys,
Yeah.
and depending on them, but that feeling of just it just felt ungodly.
Yeah.
Like, and the thing was, they knew that they crossed the line and they couldn't go back
Mm.
because over the last couple of years, numerous ETs have mentioned that the universe is going up in vibration, and they understand that they have to change, but some of them don't understand how much they have to change. So,
Yeah.
for example, the grays, the dark ones that I'm talking about, they know that they can't, went too far. They know that they're at the end of their thing, and they know that they're probably not going to be going up.
Yeah.
So what they're trying to do is they're trying to get people to give them their DNA so they can hybridize and put it into a new version of them. And they'll tell people, "Oh, we're going to cure diseases. You'll be a hero," that kind of stuff. And I'm like, "Have they done any of that yet?" And they go, "Well, no." They said it takes because they're not doing that. They're trying to save themselves.
Mm.
I mean, that's what people need to understand. Even though that these beings can be vastly technologically superior or intellectually or whatever, they still have the basic needs to survive, and they're always going to do that first. That just you have to practice discernment. If something doesn't seem right, don't chalk it up to, well, I don't know everything. If you have instincts and telling them something's wrong, listen to that, please. That's very important for people to understand.
Yeah. Yeah, that's good. This is a silly question, but it just popped into my mind. In Stargate SG-1, where they meet the grey looking beings, but they're
Yes,
called like Thor or whatever.
I
Is
thought that
that
was hysterical.
yeah, okay.
Oh, sorry, what was your question? It was just like,
No, is that true? Is that or they made that up? Yeah.
I think they just made that up, but no,
Okay.
yeah, because for me, I love the character of Thor.
Yeah.
I mean, I love the big giant hammer, and when they see these little grays, I'm like, That's not a Thor.
Yeah.
You
But it
can't
made
fool
me think
me.
though. It made me think, oh, okay, could that be the Norse gods? Was actually these ET greys coming in and these Zetas? It made me think. So it just popped into my awareness then to ask you. Because I don't have a lot of experience with the ET stuff.
Yeah, you do.
Oh, do I? I'm not
You'll get
aware
the,
of my experience.
once you get your full integration back and your
Oh,
memories back, you will see how
yeah.
much you actually have. I think you
Well,
might have more than I do.
oh, really? Well, I've been
Yeah.
obsessed with ETs since I was a kid, like obviously. But yeah, I think I fell away from it for a while, but it's the sci-fi stuff that really kept me hooked in. So I just wasn't aware of everything that was going on in the background. I'm embracing it fully now.
Congratulations. Is it everything you thought it was?
No, because I'm not having like I mean that mantis coming into my mind, that was the first time any mantis has popped into my brain. So and then it turns out they're not the good healing ones, they're the military ones. Are those black mantis working with the government or are they just standing alone?
There are some that are, there are some that aren't. There are different sections of them. It's a very complex thing. Like so the mantises will work with whoever needs to be worked with. Like, okay. So
Mm.
my experience is the positive mantises are literally trying to work with everyone to help them heal and grow as much as they can. Some of the stuff is not going to work. They understand it, but they have to try because just some species are just not going to get it. That's just how it is. Um, I was actually had a funny conversation with one of the black mantises before we went on air. And yeah, well, okay. So one of the black mantises that I've been dealing with, he works in a military base. I've met the other people where they are from. And one of his things is he was told me that he was told to get a hobby by his boss.
Right?
So he decided to start writing erotic fiction about me. And he shares his stories with me because he doesn't just write them. What he
It's
does is
amazing spicy content about you.
oh yeah.
I love it.
So he's literally what he does is since the mantises are telepathic, so he uses the telepathy with a combination of the AI. Then he beams it into me, so I am literally experiencing his little dream.
Okay.
So, and then I add to it because my own little unique things. And a couple of times he put me in these roles, and I had stopped him once because I had said, whoa, stop. The boots are all wrong. And he goes, excuse me? He goes, the boots are all wrong. I do not wear pointed toe boots. They are very uncomfortable. He goes, are you stopping my story for your boots? I go, proper footwear is a very important. He goes, fine. What kind of boots do you want? And I said, I prefer rounded tips. Okay.
Yeah.
I have a wide foot. And he goes, so he changes it and he goes, how's that? I go, that is fantastic. Great. It's a very comfortable boot. And he goes, good. Of course it's a comfortable boot. I know what I'm doing. And he starts going through these whole fantasies. I'm not going to go into all of them, what they are, just because I don't want to get your channel thing. But yeah,
This is like the
he
second interview I've done recently when it's got spicy very fast. I think my
and,
channel's taking a turn.
it was funny because a couple of times he would just do this, and over time, like he would ask me, he goes, "Well, what do you think of the story?" I go, "Well, it doesn't have much on plot. There's a kind of you're missing some things on logic." He goes, "It's a short porno story. It doesn't have to be an Oscar thing."
Oh my god, this is insane. I used to joke with a friend, and we used to think about like the aliens looking down on us and watching it like a TV soap opera,
Yeah,
right?
they do. They do.
I do. Okay, so like, how
Some
do they
do.
know about these things? How would they know about to write spicy content? And they're probably going to be on Instagram soon.
I wouldn't be surprised if they already are.
Yeah.
So after that, he comes back and he shows me these different things each and every time, and I'm like, and to his credit, he's getting better. The characters are more developed, the scenes are better, it flows better, and
He's coming in to fix the photocopier.
so afterwards, he tells me, he goes, well, they're very popular on the base, and I go, oh, congratulations.
You're like a star now.
Well, to be fair, it's just not me. He does make them about other people, but
Yeah.
I'm one of the few people who will talk to him about
Oh
it.
my god. Now just there's a comic about me or something on base. My life is very boring. I've got a really mundane life other than, my channel stuff.
See, that's the thing too. I have a surprisingly mundane life, very
Yeah.
boring.
What
But
do you
everyone's
do
like,
in your day job? Are you allowed to say what do you do?
right now I'm an artist, trying to make it as an
Oh,
artist.
really? I had no idea.
Yeah, hold on. Let me get a couple of my pieces.
Yeah, let's see. Oh, wow.
Is that visible?
Yeah, I see it.
Up is which way is up? Is it? Oh, okay. So it's one.
Is it abstract or is
Yes.
it okay? Sorry. Just checking. No, it's great. I love it. Yeah. I think there's a lot of healing energy in these pictures. Hmm. Do you do energy artwork?
Yeah, I'm learning how to. I don't know if it's.
Yeah.
Sorry about the camera thing. I got a better.
I can actually feel the vibrations coming off these.
Oh, here.
Yeah.
Yeah, I have some, like I said, some. I have some like other nicer ones too. If you just want me to read those real quick, they're right over there.
Yeah. Yeah,
Yeah.
let's see. There's a lot of energy on them, David.
Okay, I'm listening. Sure. I also do sculpting, but I have to get back to that for a while.
Yeah. Oh,
Yeah, so I
an
can actually do
interesting
pretty stuff
piece.
too.
Oh, I see faces in that. I saw a baby face in that.
Okay, it's
Oh,
abstract too,
yes,
so it's
there's
art. You
loads of
see.
entities. Oh my God, there's loads of entities in that picture. Do you
Well,
see
yeah, that's
that?
channeling me.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
and
there's loads of
yeah,
energy. Yeah,
and he said but they really want me to do the music right now.
yeah. Oh, that's interesting. That reminds me of the pink planet that I saw um, with the domes and the flying cruisers. Oh, that's lovely. These are really high vibrational. You know that, right?
I know people said to like them. I just have to get them out of me.
Yeah, yeah. My head is like, woo. There's a
Yeah,
lot
I
of
can see
energy
it.
on them.
You're all sparkly up there.
Can you see that?
Yeah, it's weird. So like something just got pushed back.
Yeah, it was like,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah. That's energy artwork. I love it.
I've also been do you know who Christy Campbell is?
Yeah, she's a friend of mine. Yeah,
Okay. She does those light or like, yeah, and I've been
yeah,
doing that because I actually contacted her
yeah.
because I was doing the same thing.
I'd love to have you both on at the same time. That would be really fascinating.
Yeah, I'm up for it if she could if
Yeah,
she's fine.
yeah, she will be. She's just releasing a book, so she's all on that right now. She's released a children's book.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah, Luna's Spirit Door, I think it's called, about dealing with spirits and psychic gifts. And she's got a coloring book that she's working on as well. It's releasing soon.
That's nice.
Yeah, she's a
Yeah.
lovely lady. Mhm.
Yeah, I actually met her in the I don't know how much you want to say about that, but yeah, I haven't physically met her in this life, but I do know her.
All right, in the programs.
Yeah, so we'll talk and see if what she's comfortable with me saying. Otherwise, I don't
Yeah.
want her to say anything first.
Okay. Yeah. 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 I've had a few paid sessions with her, and she helps me kind of decode my experiences that I have and feel into them a bit more and things like that. So she's quite a powerful amplifier.
Yeah, she is.
Yeah.
She's also a nice person, good
Oh,
person.
she's a beautiful person. Yeah. She really is. I was talking to her yesterday about a project together, like a book project together. Yeah,
Okay.
she's really nice. Yeah.
Is there anything else you have to want to talk about? Okay, I have
Um,
nothing.
Well, I really did want to talk about the record keeping thing because when I
Okay.
looked into the archivist stuff on the Ascension glossary, it talks about not only archiving information, but also DNA,
Yeah, that's common practice.
right? So I thought that's really important work. And I don't know a lot about all the different DNA stuff. So I'm still trying to feel into what would it mean to be the Time Lord archivist. Um, so I don't know, any kind of insight you've got on that would be awesome.
Time. Well, part of the thing is you keep DNA as a preservative. So it's like not like I don't know, it's you take part of the DNA just to keep it to make sure it's safe.
Like the
Like
heirloom library.
yeah, simple
Yeah.
something like you know how the US has that emergency seed reserve?
Yeah.
That's basically what it is for DNA.
Yeah.
You have yours and you have your actual records as well. But yeah,
Yeah.
that's it.
Yeah. So, because if somebody in my position was collecting DNA to make sure that the strands were maintained integrity and stuff like that, where would that
It
go?
wasn't just for you. You were working for an organization. You just weren't
Yeah.
some weirdo guy go, let me collect all the DNA in the world. No,
Yeah.
you were working for an organization. Okay.
Okay. So, who would
You
I
had
be
helpers.
working for? Is it the Venusian people? Or would there be because Audrey didn't really get there was a particular council other than the councils on Venus that I would be working with. So is
Um,
an overseeing organization when it comes to DNA?
yes, there is. I'm getting three of them. You're part of three of them. I'm not sure if this is a clone thing or you just actually have been a part of three organizations. Sorry, again, I'm not 100% at this point. If I
It's
was,
okay.
I'd gladly
Yeah, I
do.
know what you mean because I've been struggling to do meditations for the past week. I've not been getting hardly any visions come in.
Well, I think they should be. I think everything should be better by Saturday night. I think whatever's supposed to be, whatever came on the planet will be off
Yeah.
by then. So, I see archives. I see their thing. I see you're talking to a bunch of people, some humanoids, some ETs, and you are running the facility. Like you are well respected.
Okay.
I'm trying to get the names. It's being broadcast in blue frequency. So blue frequency usually means it's a high vibrational frequency. So whatever that is, I don't want to say council. See, that's the thing. There are a lot of councils.
Yeah.
There are a lot. Um, I can't give you anything
Even
specific.
like a contractor that comes in to do that work, and I don't have like one major allegiance,
Uh,
or is
you
it
can,
part of a
your
family
allegiance is to
lineage?
science.
Yeah.
Your allegiance is to science and life. Short of that, you'll go where you need it.
Yeah, because what Audrey didn't say, and I'm okay to talk about, is Drago Reed also says he's a Time Lord. So it looks like the two of us were paired together because of the Time Lord DNA. So when they started to make the babies, they're making Time Soldier babies. I know, which is
Yeah.
really bizarre. But that comes back to like our family lineages, I guess, then, doesn't it?
Yeah, I actually had speaking of time babies, so recently I just I had a bunch of little grays come to me and they said to me they came right to my room and they were about 3 to 4 feet tall and they said to me, don't worry, your heirs will be very strong and will produce many great heirs. And I says, uh-huh, what are you talking about? And they says, well, we want you to know that we're going to take good care of them when they go into the war. I go, okay, what war? I don't know what you're talking about. And they're like, well, the war happens in about 34. Your children will be amazing warriors. We'll be very proud of them. I go, okay, first things, I don't have any kids yet. Second of all, you are never to touch my kids, even if I do have kids. And they're like, but we're doing the right thing. I go, show me. Show me exactly what you've been doing. And they showed me what they were doing. They showed me a war and some basically being awesome badasses. And I'm like, cool, cool. And they go, yeah, we're trying to make sure that happens. I go, no, see, that's not what we want. And they go, why? I go, because first off, that's not actually what's going to happen. And he goes, but we saw it. That's what we were told. Unfortunately, these beings were literally grown to believe that this crap was going to happen. So
Wow.
their
Okay.
whole So their whole life, they believed what they were doing was the right thing. They had no thing. And I explained to them, I said, what you just showed me was a telepathic image. I can literally do the same stuff on my computer in about a weekend to make you a short video for that. And they're like, we don't understand. Why would he do that? I go, because he's trying to keep himself in power. He's not trying to help everybody else. And they're like, well, why would he do that? And and I'm like, you guys didn't know what was going on, did you? And all of a sudden, another Black Mantis shows up. And he's very, very scared. And he's doing damage control. He comes up to me and he goes, why are you talking to him? Why are you like talking to him? And he goes, we wanted to, so we didn't want to, he said we wanted to have, show that we were doing good work and tell him that we were doing the right thing. So he would praise us. And he goes,
they're after your praise. Oh my God. So you don't hurt them.
yeah. And so he starts talking and he goes, why are you interacting with him? And I look at the mantis and go, I can see and hear you. And he literally covers his arms and tries to cover them over and starts talking to them. And I go, listen, I don't like what you're doing. I can see what you're doing right away. It stops. And he's like, well, and I said, and not. So I just basically burned him off. And then the other little guys are like, how are you doing that? I'm like, I'm sorry. People usually it's been my experience that beings in higher dimensions tend to look down on other people from lower dimensions. They can be manipulated and stuff like that, especially when they live very long times, like long lifespans. I generally don't trust anything that lives too long. I'm of the mindset you can't, if I've seen too many stuff of people being in power for too long and how they may be the best people and have the most noble intentions, but the longer you stay there, you just get changed and you usually end up worse than you were when you went in. And I had this conversation with Audrey for a while. She was like, yeah, well, the Galactic Council, they say you can, have like a quarter of your lifespan on there. And I'm like, okay, a quarter of a lifespan, that's still a long time to
That's an
be.
eternity.
Yeah. Especially
Yeah.
when you have beings who can live a couple hundred to thousands of years. There's going to be a lot of trust issues with that. But she's like, oh, I guess it kind of makes sense. She goes, so what would you say? I say, well, I know the human brain gets institutionalized after 7 years.
Right.
That's
I
so
can agree with that. Yeah.
after 7 years, your brain's pretty much institutionalized, and it's going to take another how many
Yeah.
couple years just to undo that. And I go, I understand that you can't have like this rapid change on this galactic scale. I understand that's not feasible, but I was like, and I said, honestly, I'm just going to stay do on Earth and do my stuff right now because that's a little bit more than I can answer. But she's like, that's a valid point. But I still say like that even she says for like a 25-year term, I'm like, that's still way too much.
Yeah.
Yeah, so they came and we got it back, and it was just like I felt bad for them because it makes me wonder how many other species are told this stuff and don't know that it's not, because they never had the idea to question him. He
Yeah.
was the one who made them. So like, why would you, in their logic,
Are
why
we
would you,
talking about
huh?
are we talking about Elon here?
No, I'm
Who are we
talking about the
talking about?
mantises.
Oh, the mantises. Okay. When you're talking about that person, I was thinking, who is that person? Okay. The
I said
mantis.
that person? I'm sorry, I didn't realize that.
No, no, you kind of said he, and I was thinking, oh,
Oh no, I'm sorry. Yeah,
no.
the mantis was a male.
Okay, get it.
I gotta clarify that. Yeah,
Sorry.
no, um, I'm not a big fan of Elon anyway, so
No,
I
me
don't know.
neither. There's something there, right? Something,
Yeah,
something wrong.
I don't think he's evil. I think he likes to play with it and doesn't understand what it is.
Yeah,
That's the vibe I get from him.
yeah. I find myself repelled by him.
Yeah, he does have that effect.
Yeah.
So then, yeah, like I said, the record keeper, the DNA thing, but you were on the three of them. Definitely
How many
respected.
record keepers do you think are there? Are there loads of record keepers, or is that a unique type job? Or
Well, I mean, I don't want to say like you're the only one, but it's a special skill. There's not, I would say, well, like I said, you gotta understand the galaxies and the universes are huge.
yeah,
So I
yeah.
figure maybe a couple thousand,
Okay.
but
So would that be like a family thing? So everybody with my DNA would be doing that job, and there was no choice. That's the job that you.
I'm not so much into the DNA thing about that. I mean, I understand a lot of ETs do, associate DNA with stuff like that, but I don't know so much about it. But yeah, there is a family trait of it, but there's also people
Yeah.
that can just, try and get into it, that want into it.
Okay.
Certain people are genetically going to be better at it. Oh, so
Yeah.
as I was saying before about the funny story about the Black Mantis,
Mm.
he was just, being a jerk because that's what he does, because he has to be him. And I says,
Has he
and
got
he
a
said,
name?
huh?
Has he got a name, this Black Mantis?
Yeah, he told me it, but I wrote it down because here's the thing, like they'll switch over between talking to people and just like pretend to be a different person.
Okay, that's weird. Yeah.
That's what they do. Some of the mantises are also hive minds.
Right. I when you're talking about the Queen, there was definitely that Borg Queen
Mhm.
implanted kind of
Yeah.
feeling going on there. Yeah.
So we're arguing, and I said something about I made a comment about him, and he goes, "That's racial profiling." And I said, "Racial profiling." I go, "You are literally color suited to your task." And he goes, "Okay,
Ah,
yeah, I am." You go, "Black mantises are military. That's what they are." And
yeah.
yeah, that's fine. I get you on that one.
I think it's just weird them having personalities and stuff because I've not experienced that in this awareness. So yeah,
Oh
I
yeah,
love
no, they have individuals, but they're also a hive mind as well.
yeah. I love that you have that ability to create relationships with them. Yeah.
I
Even though
just
they see you as some kind of god, I think. They're terrified of you.
Well, yeah, but it was funny because was talking about the mantises. Something happened the other day, and they were oh God, I can't remember. Yeah, see, this is the problem with the attention span. It's just gone right now. And if it comes back to me, I'll come
Yeah.
back
There's
to it.
interference coming in because I can feel it through one of my legs. I'm getting
Yeah.
pain in my right ankle.
Okay, so how about we do this? How about we put our
Yeah.
shields up and let's see what it goes. So we're gonna try ask for the divine white light to fill us, completely surround us, let it illuminate our soul, cast out any negativity, and form a protective shield of divine light.
Mm.
And I try to operate in a place of love. Good. All
Thank
right. I feel a little better. My attention span will come back and hopefully in a couple of minutes.
Okay.
How are you feeling?
Yeah, I feel okay. Yeah, it's
Okay,
very
good.
hot where I am. I've got no AC or anything in here, and it's really hot in the UK right now.
Yeah, it's getting hot. Next week's going to be very hot over here too.
Yeah. Mm.
Um, I understand you when I watched your video, you were mentioning something about a base nearby that you think of.
Yeah.
Okay, do you want to
Yeah,
talk about
there's
that a
two
little more?
actually. So
What?
there's a shipping yard near me that's less than 500 meters from my house. And
Okay.
Audrey was mentioned, I was asking about, because I know from talking with Sean Bond that I was taken to that particular location for training, like martial arts training. And when I asked Audrey about it, she said that they create portals and pocket dimensions there. And then across the river, there's a combined military, naval, whatever base, a small base.
Sure.
It looks like it's small on the outside, and they take new recruits in there. But when you go below, like I literally went down 5 or 7 levels when I did a remote view on it. But Sean only went down 3 levels, but it leads underground. It's a major city. It leads underground to a polygon, a testing site where there's a lab, a science lab there that I used to be in the 1950s. There was a big disaster there. And there was a major disaster. According to the ACIO files, it was a huge disaster. So,
Yeah, a lot of people died.
yeah. And FEMA came on the scene, opened up a portal allegedly. And FEMA's not a UK thing, and took the people through, right, to do
Yeah.
whatever with them or bring them back. I don't know. But there's no record of this in the here and now. But it's recorded in the ACIO multi-dimensional military files.
There was a massive explosion. You guys were you were trying to open portals.
Yeah.
It was yeah, you had opened some portals and something went wrong. It wasn't sabotage. It was just you guys didn't know what you were doing.
So
And
I was supposed to have been one of the scientists that was trying to warn people not to do it that way, but they wouldn't listen. So there
well,
was a
thank you
major
for that.
disaster. Yeah, there was a major disaster. And but because of what happened, that particular science crew, there's one scientist that was female that's gone rogue. and is trying to track and trace everybody across time space. So it's going to come out in a video very shortly. I try not to think about it because it's so that's why I was camouflaged for so long, I think, because of this particular person trying to track down the science crew. But that's
I
just
gotta say, man,
hey.
I really don't like time travel. I mean, I know I love Doctor Who, David Tennant. That's my favorite show. Great
Yeah,
stuff. Time travel itself annoys the hell out of me. I feel that it has more problems than it solves. I
yeah,
understand from a point of that you're made this beautiful universe, infinitely complex, and things are going to go wrong, and you're going to need to do a reset.
yeah.
I get that. I still think it's way more problems than it's worth. I think that you should
I
always stop.
agree. Because I'm glad that you get the Doctor Who reference, because when we hear the term Time Lord in the
Yes.
UK, we think of Doctor Who and we find it hilarious. So if I was to say to people, "Oh yeah, I'm supposed to be a Time Lord," they go, "What, like Doctor Who?" But in America, they don't seem to get the reference as much.
No,
Um,
no.
to us, that's really funny. Like me saying I'm Time Lord. Oh yeah, wow, that's funny. You're Doctor Who. You need a sonic screwdriver. Um,
Yeah, I actually had to deal with some time cops recently. Because I've been, like I said, I know I was a time traveler because I have memories from 80 years in the future, which is kind of annoying. And when they took me out of I told you about when they took me out of my body to the weasel person.
yeah, I think so. I think so.
Okay,
Yeah.
so yeah, that I was like an older man and everything like that. But the thing about time, sorry, my attention span is not here today. Yeah, I got nothing. It's just not happening. Sorry about that.
That's okay. So I think there's people in the community now who consider themselves to be time cops.
Oh,
Um,
thank you for the time cops. Right.
okay.
So I was having problems getting taken. Even though it was strong, whatever I am, they still were managing to take me, which was annoying.
Mm.
Because what happens is usually what they'll do is they'll wait until I'm worn down. Like they'll come at me like nonstop for like a month and a half, and by that time I'm just worn down. And then when I'm finally like, I need sleep, I can't do anything else. That's when they end up taking me. So what was happening was I was shifting three timelines simultaneously. So I was present here where I am right now. I was present in, I want to say, a higher one, and I was present in another one over here. So for me, when I say over here, I literally mean like this timeline over here as opposed to this timeline over here. They are
Yeah.
literally, that's where how I see them. I perceive
So you
them.
talked about them being in sheets of like time. You talked
Yes.
about last time, yeah.
Yeah. So that's what, so different, they were intersecting. One of the things was, I was in that stupid clone body that they put me in.
Yeah.
And this was a third generation clone. And I mean, the third generation of a knockoff of a knockoff. This was a backup of an old clone. And I could feel how much they mutilated this body to make it more move
Mm.
or work. I could feel all the scars and pains. And I was felt that in that body, this body. Then another body I felt at the same time was me in a tube. It was like some type of stasis chamber.
Mm.
This one felt like I had been on like we had been in some type of war and they were trying to wake me up. So after a while, I talked to Audrey about that because, like I said, I was like, "What am I going to do about this time stuff?" And she goes, "Oh, you need to go call the time cops." I'm like, "So I can call the cops? Let's give that a try because I'm tired of fighting everything myself. Let's see
Yeah.
how this goes." So it
So
took me a while.
you ever
Uh,
meet people that you recognize, but you know that they're not aware?
huh?
Do you ever meet people like from the community, but you meet another version of them,
All the time. It is frustrating
right?
because I can
Have
remember.
we ever met?
I'm not sure. I wouldn't be surprised if we haven't. I've been around a while, so I'm
Yeah.
apparently well traveled, is what they call me.
Because nobody recognized me, even though I've got like millions of clone handlers. Nobody's actually recognized me. So that's kind of good for
Yeah.
now.
I
Yeah.
mean, the weird thing is when I go out in public and I start meeting new people, and within 30, 40 seconds of talking to them, I'm like, you have no idea who you are, do you? And unfortunately, I meet these people, and let's just say that they are not in good situations. Most unfortunately, what the SSP does is they will take you out and they put you in these bodies, and you will have these amazing lives and these amazing ventures. It'll be this amazing people, and then they put you back broken, deformed, most of your life just to keep you from being who you were. And that's what they did for me for most of my life. Most of my life, I was non-functioning. I couldn't hold a conversation. I couldn't hold a job. I couldn't hold friends, no relationships. It was just horrible. But now that I've gotten to the place, and other than that, a couple of the ETs have told me, you were not here for the fighting. You were here for the healing, which comes after. I'm like, I'm pretty sure I can do the fighting. And they go, we know you want to do the fighting. You need to do the healing.
Yeah.
And I get pissed off because like I'm not really a patient person, and the
Yeah.
ETs are constantly telling me you need to calm down, you need to be patient.
But how can you go from combat situations off planet and things like that to come back into this body and be told, oh, just carry on mundane, be patient, be calm? How can you do that? You can't take soldiers out of those kind of situations and put them in regular bodies.
Yeah,
So,
the hardest part for somebody, I mean, it's one thing if you're a super soldier. It's another thing if you're an officer.
yeah,
And you will know. See, I was an officer, so
okay,
I had command. And I still remember how it felt to command an entire force. I remember the fear and respect that I had was given to it. Because every once in a while, the ETs will still, once they piss me off and that little part of me comes out, they're like, okay, we went too far, we went too far, we went too far. And just testing boundaries, we're good to know.
yeah. See, I
But
mean, most of my life, I feel like, oh, imposter syndrome kicks in and you think my life was really crap or whatever. And now I look back and think, oh, okay, this every relationship I've had has been handled. Like me coming back to the UK was totally handled and stuff like that. And I see things really differently now. I don't feel not that my life has been bad, it could have been a lot worse, and I get that. But the way I'm thinking of my targeting these days is the enemy of my enemy is my friend. I know there's a particular faction that must be trying to keep me alive because of all these clones that I've got out there. So
yeah, well, like I said, they don't waste their time with nobodies. That's the one thing people need to understand. If you are being targeted, it is because you are a perceived threat to them or will be a threat. So take that as a badge of like the fact that they even notice you is, I don't want to say it's a good, it just shows how powerful you actually are. And I want people to remember that. You can deal with it. It's going to take time to get better. Like I took me years to get better. Other people have taken years to get better, but
yeah,
it can be
I'm
done.
to be honest, the way things are right now, I'm not comfortable, but I've come to terms with things. And what made it easier for me was knowing that Drago has the same targeting patterns at times as well. So at nighttime, we seem to go through the same cycle of targeting, same time, same pain, part of the body. And that brought me great comfort knowing it wasn't just me, that he's on a similar target pattern because we're so connected. Um, yeah, so I feel better knowing that. So I just carry on now. No, yeah,
Good. Like I said, yeah, because oh, I mean, I've spoken to Drago a few times. He's a good guy. I liked him. I mean, I remember him being on the crew. That's when I first met him. Him and yeah, one of the first interviews I did, I remember naming all those people. Because what happened was, like, I didn't have all these memories until the last 2 years. Like my whole life, I was just a ball of hatred and anger. That's all I
yeah,
was.
I hear you. Yeah,
And I mean, it literally it was to the point where I could not look in the mirror without wanting to rip out the guy's spine and just whip him with it because that's how much hatred I had.
yeah,
And I never understood where that hatred came from because I always tried to be nice to people, or not nice to people. I always tried to treat people how I wanted to be treated. I never
yeah.
really caused problems for anybody, but it just the hatred didn't understand. Then I got my memories back, and then
Did they come back in like one big go? Because
oh
for me,
no, no,
it's
no,
like
no, no.
little tiny
I'm still
situations.
getting them back. I want to be very clear on that one. I still don't have full
Yeah,
memories of everything I've gone through. The memories I do have been, I don't want to say allowed to memory, but that's more of what it was because when I was talking to people, they were like, David, people don't usually have this level of recall and of what you're going through. And I was like, well, that's what I'm just telling you what happened. I didn't, because like I said, I don't really have many friends or anything like that. I pretty much isolated myself because I just couldn't be around people.
yeah.
So, it was, and I'm still not used to people listening to me. So that's kind of new to me. It's like,
I
I
love
find out people
listening
are
to
like,
you. I absolutely love listening to you. I love spending time with you. I just want to make that very clear. I love it. Right?
thank you.
For me, yeah, the last 2 years things have started to come back, but I started to work with a quantum healer here in the UK. So I had some sessions with Felix Hyde, and he does like quantum energetic restructuring or whatever. But when we were having our sessions together, I started to get memories, but what we didn't have was the context of where it was from.
Okay.
And so I saw myself in a lab. I saw like a big soldier next to me, and he'd say, yeah, I can see the same thing, but he didn't understand the programs. And then he'd say things to me like, oh, I see you on a spaceship, but no one's listening to you. You're furious. You steal
Yeah,
it.
yeah,
Everybody, right? But
yeah,
and I
that happened a lot.
who am I? Oh my God, why would I do that? Because I didn't have the context. And he'd just say, well, don't be grandiose about it. Just carry on. But I needed to know. But now that I know that I was in the programs, I know that I must have been on a mission. It's not like I'm just doing it because I'm spoiled or something. I was like, do you know what I mean?
Okay, now the thing about the SSP people, the brains have been altered to be more aggressive, and the bodies have also been set up to be more emotional as well, because the emotional will be able to access the power, and the anger is easier.
Well, I'm less emotional, and it's been the last 2 years I've been learning to get the emotions back. But I've been told by Jessica Morocco that because my emotions are less, that makes me a good assassin.
Well,
So
yes, it does make you good for assassin, but it also,
yeah.
like I said, they took it, the emotions you used to have, they kind of really didn't want you having them because you were getting really annoying.
I've just got the berserker kind of emotion.
Yeah, I can see that. Totally get that. I mean, Berserker knows Berserker.
Yeah, that's me. I'm a berserker.
Yeah, they don't like that, so they kind of really made sure that you were put down.
Yeah. Okay.
And now that you're regrowing your emotions and being
Yeah.
able to be doing it, is it going to be a part of it if you're healing as well?
Regrowing emotions. I like that term. I spent a lot of money working with that guy trying to feel into emotions, and he literally had to tell me what it was I was feeling so I could try and identify it and then let it pass through the body. So I'm a lot better now at just calling out emotions, and I
Yeah.
can tap into joy and things like that a lot easier now. I understand.
It's a nice emotion, isn't it?
Yeah, and bliss as well. Oh,
Yeah,
when
it really is.
I do access consciousness hands on, and I can get into a bliss state now, and I love that. But other things I can't always identify it still, and sometimes it's just not there. But I do a lot more emotional work now, so yeah, I've grown my emotions. I like that.
Because one of the things I had to learn was actually being in the body, like physically in the body, and being
Yeah.
aware of it, your breath, your muscles,
Mm.
that kind of stuff. Just taking a couple minutes of the day just to be there and feel it, and not be all digital and everything else with your
Yeah.
intention really does help. I mean, that's a huge problem humans are going to have to deal with, is the fact that we have to stop with all this digital, or at least decrease it, and we have to reconnect to our bodies because it's been cut off for too long.
Yeah. I
Uh,
can understand
in
that.
in
I lived in India for 10 years, and I spent a lot of time just in meditation, just in, doing my Reiki and things like that. So I was really lucky that I could do that. But I struggle to stay grounded, and my brand is AnchorHaven.
Yeah.
And I still have trouble grounding. So yeah.
Well, I always say that if you can channel your rage to a useful point, then use it. If it gets to be a problem, then you have to nip it in the bud. Otherwise, just put it, like, find an outlet for your rage. Like,
Yeah.
one of the things the SSP would do was they would constantly try to trigger me into rage, and they told me multiple times. He goes, "Yes, your rage makes you activate your powers more. You can,
Oh,
because of
okay.
that." And I'm like, "Cool." And then they were like, "Yeah, but the problem is we need you to use controlled response. We don't need you in a blood rage 24 hours a day trying to interact with people. That's not going to be good. We need you to be able to have the access to your powers without going around attacking everything."
Yeah.
And I'm
I
like,
don't have
"Have you met
control.
me?"
Yeah. It's on
They go,
record
"Yes,
that
we are very
I
aware."
blew up the moon, so I don't have any control. I have released a plasma ball out of my heart once, which is where made me think I might be number 7 in the Umbrella Academy. And when
Okay.
I got it confirmed that yes, you're number 7, and yes, in another context, you blew up the moon, and I was like, oh, okay, that makes sense.
Yeah.
Hey, what's on the moon now then? If we're supposed to pay attention to the moon, what's going on with that?
Okay, so what they said about the moon was something got taken off it that wasn't supposed to be.
Okay.
There is a couple bases on the moon. They're
Yeah.
in some of the craters. There are,
I know I've been on the moon, and
yes,
I think I've had a memory that's inside the moon.
yes.
Um,
The moon is more of I want to say it's a multi-species organization, a group. It's not just one group. There are various ones, and each one likes to have their own area
mm,
secure. It's like they don't want, like they understand that they have to work with them, but they're like, you stay on your side of the thing, and I'll stay on my side of the thing, and we'll just
mm.
watch that. That's what they do. Some of them are trying to help, but other ones are just wondering. But for some reason, they had to leave. I think it's because of the solar sun going that they may have had to leave, and
Okay.
that's why we went back to the moon. That's why or they let's say the governments know that they left the moon because that's why we're going back.
Yeah. So what's the
Because
access point to the moon? Is it a Stargate or is it a portal? How do
I
you get to it?
remember a couple bases being there. Just more like I want to say like when you go to a new plane and they have to transfer over. That's the kind
Okay.
of vibe it is. But I don't really remember any portals there. I know they were doing a couple of researches and stuff like that, but
Yeah.
I don't remember any portals. I just remember it more being more of like a stop, a stopgap, like a rest stop almost.
Okay. That's
But I
interesting.
know the bases are in Jupiter or on Jupiter's moon. There's
Yeah.
a lot of people, a lot of action going on over there.
But I know I've been on a Jupiter moon and I know I've been on two bases on Mars. But I'm not sure about what memory fits what, to be honest. Because it's a bit sketchy still coming in.
Do you know how to discern real memories from fake memories?
No, no.
Okay,
Well, the real stuff that's coming in, it's coming in as rapid imagery.
okay.
So I think that's real because I don't have a lot of memory in my mind. This my mind is empty.
Lucky you.
So, but I'm starting to get like screens open up, right? And I get projections. But when it's like left side projection, I'm pretty sure that that could be not real because I'm
Okay.
pretty sure there's an implant in the left eye. Yeah.
Um, was it say, if you can, but I know there's a couple people that said that they can get rid of the implants. I've seen a couple of them do it.
I think if it could potentially be useful. So why would I get rid of an implant that allows me to see stuff? Right.
Okay, if you're fine with it, then that's one thing.
Yeah.
Like I said, me personally, I'm not really into artificial intelligence or
Yeah.
anything like that. That's mainly because I remember how bad it went.
Mm.
Like one of the timelines that I remember that it literally took over the entire Earth, and we
Yeah.
literally had to sacrifice the planet just to stop it.
Do you know when you talked about the super soldier blue battery
Yes.
last time? I really felt like I had an incision in my right side and something released.
Well, if you have the Berserker Rage, that would have definitely made you a decent combat person.
Okay, yeah.
So that would have been used for that. It was funny. I was just thinking about the blue thing last night when I was going to sleep. I
Yeah.
was like, ah, God, I wish I could have it right back now.
So yeah, because I felt that for a few days, like something was missing on the right side. It was below the liver though. It wasn't like in the liver,
Yeah.
like below. Um, yeah, that's interesting. Mm,
I've also been getting a lot of reptilians coming back into me, and they've been telling me, you have to accept the part of you that you don't like. And now,
that's
from
true.
my own bias about dealing with the reptilians and stuff like that is,
Yeah.
I understand that I have a lot of reptilian in me, and I've done a lot of reptilian lives, but when I've interacted with them, I prefer to be a mammal at this point just because I like to have the emotional spectrum. I'm not
Yeah.
saying that they don't have the emotions, but some of them don't feel the emotions as well as we do, or especially as me, because I'm an empath, which they just
Yeah.
turns up everything. It was
Yeah.
funny because last week I had these mantises. They were just talking. They were like using. I was kind of out of it, so they were in me, just like walking around. Not they weren't piloting me, but they were like I want to say co-sharing for a little bit, co-experiencing. We'll go co-experiencing because I don't want to give over control.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, my mother is a very strong woman, but she is also not very healthy and has no control over her emotions and doesn't care.
Yeah.
So it was funny because I was just talking, having a nice time with my father and everything like that. And my mother comes out, and then all of a sudden, I felt the 3 or 4 mantises that were using me. They were like, "Please, sacred mother, you do not know how powerful you are. Please go back inside. You are a lot. We mean you no harm. She does not know what she's doing." And
Oh
she's like,
wow. Sacred mother, she's about to go supernova.
"Oh, that's how she usually is."
That's
And
mad.
because they were literally using me to make like a simulation of it was like a soap opera they were running on me.
Yeah.
And they would come in, and they would use me as an experience, and they couldn't handle my mother. And afterwards, like all 4 of them just left. And they were like literally going, "She does not know what she's doing. Please stop her. She does not realize her strength."
Oh my god. That's so funny. Your poor mom.
No, poor mom horse. She's a tough lady.
She's fierce. So Sean Bond said that I'm on a peacekeeping mission with the Draco, which is
Okay.
supposed to be good. But then in another session, he also said that the Draco are cloning me as food
Ah, that's not
off
good.
planet.
See, okay, so it's been my experience with the Draco that there is not one faction. That's the problem. There's the ones, okay, the Draco that I thought I was dealing with originally turns out were SSP clones.
Okay, that's interesting.
Yeah, so what had happened was I had been dealing with these Draco for a while, and nothing wrong. It was just I got used to them being there. And then I told that to someone, I think it was even might have been Audrey. Yeah, it might have been even Audrey.
Yeah.
And she said, "Those, I don't think those are real cuffs. I think you should go talk to the Queen Mother about what happened." I'm like, "You think she'll pay attention to me?" And I'm going, "I don't see why not." And so as soon as I finished the interview with Audrey, right there, the Queen Mother's helper was waiting. And she was kind of impatient. I mean, I understand. She's a busy woman, queen, making contact for those little things. I get it. I was truly honored to have her. And what happened was, she's like, "We need to talk." And I'm like, "Of course, yeah." And we start talking, but my dogs were puppies. And I'm like, "Listen, I don't want to interrupt you, but if I don't get them some food and water, we're not going to be able to concentrate, and I don't want you killing my puppies." And she's like, "Go feed them and come back." So she comes back, and her aide, and she comes to me and she goes, "May I scan your memories, please? Do I have your consent for that?" And I said, "Yes, I consent to you scanning my memories for that." And she scanned my memories, and she stopped on uh, 2 human people and 1 Draco. She said a couple names. She got so pissed and then stormed off. I was like, "Okay, that didn't okay." So then her aide comes over to me and he goes, Do I have your permission to make a copy of your memories?" And so yes, so he does. He puts a crystal, he touches it to my head, and he takes it out, and he goes,
That's really Harry Potter, isn't it? It's just like in Harry Potter. You know, when
"Well,
they give
they're a
Harry-
telepathic species."
yeah.
So he puts them in there, and it was funny because I was told, like, "David, I want you." I think it was Audrey or somebody else. So he goes, "When you deal with the Draco hierarchy, they're very telepathic, and I want you to understand that you
Yeah.
may be overwhelmed by them mentally." I wasn't.
Oh,
I don't know if they were using dampeners or whatever, but
yeah.
I mean, they were definitely intense. But I was like, I was expecting way more, and I'm glad it didn't happen. But it was a nice thing. And then about a week later, I don't say week to 13 days later, I'm just sitting in my room, and the Queen's aide comes in, and he goes, "I want to let you know the problem has been dealt with." And I was like, "Okay." Then after that, I began realizing, oh, so this is what a real Draco feels like. This feels very different than the other ones.
Yeah. Do you think I have a Draco god?
I don't know about a god, but there's some type of thing like I got like 2 of them behind you.
Is it that orange one again?
No, no, this one's more of
Okay.
I don't say I'm seeing like a light tan maybe, or even a white one. It's a lighter skin.
These are Dracos.
Dracos or reptilians, I can't tell you at this point. I'm sorry.
I've
Like,
got Dracos in my house.
well, yeah, of course. They whenever any of them contact each other, they're going to be watching. I've had Zooms with other people where I have had ETs waving to the other ETs on the other side.
Oh, that's mad.
Yeah, and
But I'm drawn to your right shoulder. There's something behind on the other side, and there's something
oh
there.
yeah, that one. That
The
would
other
be,
side.
I think the mantises are over there.
Yeah.
They're waving for them, and they're talking about the three that are on that side.
Yeah, that's the other side. Yeah. I think it's
Yeah,
your right. I don't know. Yeah.
yeah.
But
It's just
either
it's funny because when I watch them do that, they're like hello, and they're like hello.
that's mad.
Yeah.
I never thought about having Dracos in my house. I was like,
Well, I mean, as long as your boundaries are respected and they're not here to do any harm, I don't see the problem. If you want, you can try interviewing them, see if they'll talk to you.
what?
You got two Dracos in your house and you don't want to talk to them?
I've never spoken to them. I don't talk to them. There's only a luminescent light being that I actually consciously said, please come to me, please come.
Well, do you want to speak to them?
I would like to speak to them, yes, but I'm scared.
Well, tell them that. Tell them it's okay to speak to them. Just
Okay.
be,
I am
my boundaries.
Because like they're eating me on other planets, so
well, maybe they're going to stop eating you. If you get to know your food, it's kind of hard to eat it.
Yeah, I'm obviously very tasty.
Good for you.
So yeah, no, I've not set intention to talk to any of them
because they're there. They'll talk to you. I don't know how much you'll be able to perceive, but they'll try.
Okay. What would it feel like?
It depends on what, well, feeling for me is, okay. How to describe a feeling to someone who's never experienced it before?
Okay.
What words would I use? I don't have words for that. Crap. It's a very, very reptilian energy. It's a very focused form of it, very concentrated. That's
okay.
But there are different ones in that. So just like, again, keep your shields up, tell them to keep your boundaries up, and ask them to stop eating you.
Yeah. Yeah.
That just might be like, can you stop eating me, please?
That makes sense.
Because like I said, they got a couple of them who were just kind of like, we don't eat her, it's the other ones.
Okay. All right, guys. But the thing is, Sean Bond and I, we did great work. We got down from 25 million clones to like 30 clones or something. And then I talked to Audrey and it's like, oh, you've got 500 clones on the planet, 700 off planet. And I'm like, okay, this is getting really annoying now. There's a mass production line. How do I stop them mass producing me?
That means you're gonna have to do what I did, and that is go one by one and get the clones back.
Yeah. Well,
and that means
been doing that. But
it's a process. Look, I got like a couple
in the space of a month, they've gone up by 1,200.
That's amazing that you've done that. That's a real thing. Congratulations. I mean,
that's not good though. Huh? We got them down by 25 million and to less than 100, and then they went up again by 1,000 in a month. Yeah. So that's not good. That means that there's multiple factions mass producing me in different off planet, on planet, in planet.
Yeah, a lot of the stuff that has been in power across the universe is coming to an end. And they know that, and a lot of them are trying to do what they can to save it or hold on to their way of life. And I'm like, it's not going to work anymore. Don't you get it? I mean, and one of the things I've learned about interacting with other species is that when I see something that's universal, it makes me feel better, even though it's like certain things are just universal. Like certain people are going to be stupid. Certain people are just not going to get things. Kids are going to be kids. That kind of stuff is just universal.
Okay.
But you have to keep doing that. You have to are you canceling the I cancel contracts every day now.
Yeah.
Every once in a while they're like, I'll hear in the back of my head or someone going, okay, we need to manufacture consent.
In my head now. So I for so many days I was really working on voiding the contracts, calling back the aspects. I could feel it, but then I started to get less and less energy, and I started to get targeting come in, and then I had to get something
because you were affecting them. They didn't like it, so they're trying to stop it. The fact that they took time to target you shows that you were doing the right thing.
Yeah. Okay.
It's going to get worse. I'm sorry about that. There's not much we can do about that. You have to. Once you get through it, you'll get much better.
Yeah, there must be a facility. I need to find the facility, I think.
Oh, there's several facilities. There's several species that are doing it.
Yeah.
I'll look into it more if I can. If I find anything, I'll let you know.
On a couple of months ago, Sean Bond said that my clones were being sold from the UK government to the Naga, right?
It's interesting you mentioned the Naga because I've been getting a lot of Naga lately.
Yeah, me too.
The
Me too.
last couple of days, I've been having them come over, and the Naga are, or I don't know if there's so much Naga as I'm getting more snake, reptilian, inner Earth being. I
Okay.
don't, I don't see them as a multi-headed Indian cobra thing. I see them more as,
You see them as a humanoid with a snake base.
yes, kind of.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, because it's the Egyptian goddess Wadjet has come into my awareness because I have a pendulum that I work with, and I didn't realize that my pendulum, where is it now? I don't know where it's now. Was literally for her. Oh, here it is. So I work with this pendulum for Akashic work, and it has a
Okay.
snake on it, and it's got the staff of Moses. But what I didn't realize was when it was crafted in honor of the Egyptian cobra goddess.
Okay.
And I didn't realize that. And it's like coming into my awareness now. Snake language is trying to come back in, and which is not one of my favorite like languages. So that must be like a Naga language.
So do you speak light language?
Only a little bit. Yeah.
I'm learning how to do it. I know when I do it, I take in a lot of energy, and it's a lot, but it
Yeah.
sounds beautiful. What I want to do is I want to get like a bunch of people who can actually do light language really good, and I want to put it
Yeah.
to music.
Oh, that would be amazing. Yeah.
Yeah, so I'm looking to see if I can find, people who are really skilled. I mean, it's not so much a skill, but or people who at least sound good doing it. Because
Yeah.
some people that do light language don't sound really good. They just,
Mhm.
trying to explain to someone, oh,
Yeah.
it's not some crazy person I found and just put a guitar next to him. No, no, this is an actual sacred language.
There's a couple of people I follow on Instagram that do, but I also know some people that just do one phrase and then repeat that phrase over and over. I used to sing different languages, and but then when the snake language started to come out, and it was very sassy kind of language,
Yeah,
my one of my friends saw
harnesses, doesn't it?
energetic snakes on the floor eating up the energies, and I just felt really self-conscious about it. But I've been told now I really need to embrace it because there's a guide coming in, and I had a session with somebody and they saw a snake up my esophagus coming out of my mouth because this guide wants to use my voice box with the snake language.
Be very careful about people wanting to use you for channeling.
Well, I
I
don't,
have
yeah, I don't, but this is the
Make
one.
sure you have clear boundaries set up before you do that.
Yeah,
And you only say you can speak for a certain amount of time
yeah,
consecutively. Because like I said, I don't think it'll be malicious, but the
yeah.
fact that once you open that channel up, other things will try to get through there. And I've had
And
that
like a
experience.
snake coming out, that's like really like symbiotic, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, because like I said, I've been dealing with the Nagas, or I don't want to call them Nagas. I think they're more inner Earth beings lately, but it was
Yeah,
just weird that I mentioned them because I had met them before, and I always draw. Whenever I see them, I usually draw them, and probably
yeah.
I don't know where I put my other ones
I
of them,
can't
but they're
even
somewhere.
imagine. I've got let me get my book actually. Hold on.
Let me see if I can find my book. Oh,
Because I ordered this book.
oh. Ah, okay.
Do you see
Yeah,
that?
yeah, I'm here.
Yeah,
I
so
guess.
that's Roger.
Wow.
So the snake that all the pharaohs were wearing on their crown was to represent the cobra goddess.
Okay.
And she was like all living fire, and I'm like living fire because I work with the violet flame. So it's the snake energies coming in at the moment, which scares me a little bit.
Well, now what scares you about it?
It's snakes. Yeah,
And
it's just that's scary. I mean,
it
if
is.
my like language is all hissing and sounding, people don't like it.
Okay. I guess so. I mean, I don't have a problem with it. I mean, snakes don't bother me or anything like that.
Yeah. I don't know. I
So,
felt very self-conscious. So, and I also had like a Mintalkin language that was coming through once, and it was all kind of clicking sounds. And
okay.
somebody said to me, "You're speaking dolphin," and I really just laughed. I was too self-conscious. So,
Well, I know there's some very, very high frequency beings that will sound like clicking and chirping if you're not in the frequency. Like if
yeah.
you're standing outside of it, all you'll hear is clicks and chirps. But if you're actually in the field, you'll understand it perfectly.
Oh wow.
So I want to show you this. I don't know if you can see this guy right here. I just did a quick sketch of this guy.
Oh yeah, yeah. Is
Okay,
that
I
the
had
guy
him come
next to
visit me
me?
the other day.
He's very handsome.
Yeah, and he was showing me who he was and posing for because he wanted me to see him.
Is
But
that this guy over my shoulder?
no, I don't know. I think
Or
this
who's
guy's
that
just a
guy?
designer.
Okay.
I'm trying to find my other stuff. Oh, yeah. So this is the stuff. Yeah. So this is the Naga female that I was talking about before. You see?
Yeah. Oh
Yeah.
wow. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah. She's in. Where is she? That's her
Yeah.
right there. Yeah.
Okay.
She's very smart, and she's talked to me before. She
Hmm.
seems to be like really caring about me, which is weird because I don't
Yeah.
have memories of who she is. And a lot of the beings won't approach me like the positive ones understand, or the ones that have dealt with me enough go to know that he needs to be left alone and given time to grow, and let him come to us. We can
Yeah.
meet him halfway, but we don't want to appear aggravating to him because he is kind of fire happy.
I wish they were more scared of me.
No, give him time. Once you get your emotions together and stuff, just you'll be a quite forceful one, trust me.
Yeah. Hmm.
So we've been going for a while. Is there anything else you got?
No, we're okay to finish for a bit if you want, and that's fine.
Okay.
Can I
Yeah.
get you again?
Of course, and hopefully my
Really?
attention span will be back
Oh,
next
thank you
week.
so much. I love our time together. I
I do
think we
too. It's
get a
very
lot of good
good.
information coming through as well. So I think it's good. It'd be great to get Christy Campbell on too, because she's just lovely.
Yes.
I'm sure you guys have got a good vibe. Um,
Yeah. Well, I think probably I think the next one I have to do. I'm going to the full disclosure conference.
yeah, tell everybody about that. What are you doing there? Yeah.
Oh, wait, I should probably probe that. Thank you. So yeah, I will be going to the full disclosure conference in Florida on July 14th through the 20th, and I will be speaking on the panel of super soldiers, along with many other wonderful guests that we'll be having. So you can go to Facebook or fulldisclosure.net, I think is the website.
I think it's
And you can
fulldisclosure.live or fulldisclosuremovement.org.
let
And
me
do
go.
you have a discount code, David? Do you know?
Yes, there is. Let me get that. Hold on.
Yeah, well, you can message me and I'll put it in the thing. Um,
Okay.
yeah. So hopefully Rob from Typical Skeptic is going to be able to get there because that's something I'm campaigning for at the moment. So it'd be
Yeah,
great to
I saw
see.
that he was having like doing crowdfunding for that.
Yeah, so we set up a GoFundMe and everything. So hopefully you'll be able to do some kind of interview with him while you're there or something. That'd be brilliant.
Yeah, it'll be nice. It's funny because a lot of the ETs have been talking to me and they're like, you know, you really need to calm down just a little bit. And they're like, we want to work with you, but you need to calm down. We understand everything. Just go to just go to the conference and everything will be fine after that. And I'm like, uh-huh. And they're just like, just go to the conference and calm down, please.
Go to the conference and enjoy yourself, do like minds, and then come back and we'll talk. Yeah.
Yeah, that's exactly what it's like. Look, you've earned a rest. You've earned just, and please
Yeah.
go and do it. And it's funny because a lot of the other, not really bad SSP, but other military organizations are all like, yes, please go and calm down. We're tired of dealing with you. You are literally in the way of us doing our job.
Oh wow. So I wish I could go to the conference. I was thinking about going, but because I'm waiting for an ankle surgery, I'm definitely going to try and be there next year, hopefully on the crew or something like that. To
Well,
support Robin.
on a good note, from when what the Mantises told me and the Lyrans told me, I want to be clear on that. The Lyran, it's a three-syllable word. It's lie, wrong, and that's how you have to say it. Because you say the raw part, you say it in your chest, and it brings out the power.
Wow. Okay. Great.
Because I pronounce it wrong, and I hear so many other people pronounce
Yeah.
it. When I asked the Lyran about it, he said that's how you say it. And I
Because
was like,
I
oh,
literally had a conversation with somebody about is it Lyran? Is it Lyran? And I say, well, I say Lyran. So I need to practice correcting that now.
yeah, it's
Yeah,
a three-syllable word. Just you got to emphasize the raw in the chest. That's where the power is.
that's awesome. Because
Also,
Audrey confirmed that the Black Pyramid ships that I connect to, I doused on it and I got who made these ships and I got Lyran and she confirmed, yeah, they were Lyran ships that I was connecting into Black
good for
Pyramids.
you.
Mm.
So what I wanted to say was the Mantises and the Lyrans told me that this year they're going to be there, but they can't fully manifest. They said the ones who can perceive us will know we're there. And then they said next year for 2026, we are using the front door.
Really? That's big news. Okay.
Right. So not this
Yeah.
year, but next year they said that they are using the front door.
Okay. And that's what I'm going.
Okay. I think that one, yeah, I think this is going to be a good one. And I think next year will be the little world changing one.
Yeah. Yeah, that's
Because
amazing.
I also want to, like I said, I want to cover that. I think when I mentioned before that the Chinese or whoever it was doing something that they didn't understand what they were doing. They were having contact with him. And I do believe that next year, the rest of the world is going to realize what had happened and then have to clean up the mess afterwards.
Okay, that's not good. Yeah.
Yeah, so I'm hoping that that goes until after the concert. I don't know, conference, whatever, but I know that the treaty that the Mantises and other ones had to not interfere is over. Like they re-signed a new treaty and they had to wait for it to take effect because they're not going to be able to fully walk down the street openly yet. What they will be able to do is meet their starseed families and be able to heal with them under supervision.
Oh, that's big news. Wow. Okay.
So
Yeah.
that treaty goes into effect next year. I mean,
Yeah.
they're already trying to get in here and just visiting, but it'll be a lot easier for them next year.
Yeah. I can't even fathom what that would look like right now, but that's really exciting to think that it'll be a lot more support for the star seeds, I guess.
Yeah, that's
People
what
like
that's what
it.
the main thing is. The star
Yeah.
seeds are hurting really bad
Yeah.
because they've been targeting. They don't have access to their families. They
Mm.
don't know everything that's going on, and then that's what's going to help with that.
Yeah.
But yeah, I did ask them about what's going on for the next couple of years, and they said you're not really going to like it. I go, I never do. And they said it's going to be rough for the next couple of years. Probably around 2031, things will level off. And I'm
What do
like,
you think about all the future tech? Where's the Star Trek future technology coming from? When are we going to get that?
I think after that, what they showed me was a different dimension being born on Earth. Like Earth literally separates into a higher realm, and they showed me that there were people that just couldn't go up to the higher realms. Like they couldn't, for if they were so attached to the way of life or something that they had to literally just finish their life here, wait to be reincarnated, then try again because they were so entrenched to it. And I was like, so not everyone's going? And they go, no, not everyone's going. But there seems to be a dimensional split going.
I feel like somebody just gripped my shoulder.
Yeah.
Oh, get off.
Practice your mirrors. Come on. Put your
Yeah.
mirrors around them. Okay. Very good. All right. We'll do this next week and hopefully
Yeah.
everything will be back online or at least be better.
This has been amazing. Thank you so much for joining me. I really appreciate it.
Okay.
And I'll send you the link once I've got it all shared out. Thanks so much. You take care.
Bye.
See you. Bye.